5 years ago, we took a 3-day excursion at work. We traveled within the city, the state, and the country, seeing very interesting places. The day before the trip, I prepared my things. I was waiting since 6 a.m. at the school for the students to board the transport. The first departure was at 7:30 a.m. on board a tourist bus. We will visit the city of Puebla. Attentive to the windows, the students observed the neighborhoods of the city. We were talking about legends, typical food, and how centuries ago the first mass of the city was celebrated in one of them. The first stop was the Fuertes de Loreto y Guadalupe. Did Zaragoza fight here? Did they fight against the English or French? Did Mexico win? The students had many questions and I had the answers. We all learned a lot. They were enthusiastic to go out the visit. The night before I studied a lot since we were going to Cholula. We talked about the massacre, the church, and why it was a magical town. The students had their lunch and got tired touring the pyramid. We visited the church of Tonantzintla and learned about religious art. The next day, we visited Chignahuapan. They learned to make Christmas ornaments. They toured the town and finally we met the largest building in the continent. In Zacatlan, the students had breakfast before noon. They visited the clock museum and we were appreciating the murals. The weather was perfect for a long walk. I got ready the last night for the longest trip. We will travel to Mexico City. This happens 2 years before pandemic. The first stop was Chapultepec. Going through the corridors of the castle, I was observing the works of art and my colleagues were taking care of the students who didn't touch them. The INA Museum was the second stop on the trip. The students learned about the history of Mexico over 500 years ago. They read and saw many interesting things. I had a lot of fun. Finally, we went to Teotihuacan. We were touring the whole place, taking photos and listening to the stories that the guide told. I bought some souvenirs from there, a lottery and some key rings. Many things were cheaper than in the museum. We arrived in Puebla at dawn. The view was beautiful, we were all tired. It was a great trip.